welcome to Still Talks. This is talk number 1, entitled God's Grand Scheme and How Everything Exists to Bring Us Closer to Him. Now, we will begin with a timeline, simply for our mind's sake to comprehend God on a linear scale. Now, we have God as the first point, alone and content, but happy and at peace, God. If we move down this timeline, God creates Jesus Christ. And now he has his perfect son, who is part of this grand scheme. If we go down the line a little bit more, you'll have our third point, which is an incredibly crucial point. Christ, the creator of all things, as John 1:3 says, that all things were made by Jesus, and without him was not anything made that was made. Christ creates the angels. Now, through creating the angels, he comes up with this concept that has tripped up a lot of people throughout the years. And this concept is free will, or the idea of a negative. Christ presents to the angels the idea of not following him, of choosing not to worship him and his Father. And through that, we have the allowance of evil. Does that make sense? It'll make more sense as we go on. As we move to the fourth point, you have billions of years of creation, or however you see it, the 6 days, Adam and Eve in the garden, walking with God, or Christ, in the cool of the day. And of course, when Satan tempts them, they are presented with the same choice that Satan had, the idea of a negative, of not following God. And of course, this leads to the fall of man. Now, this is an oversimplification, and we're going to go deeper into detail about this kind of thing, but that'll be later. But for right now, the fall of man. So now we're all presented with this choice, this idea of not following God, which is something that we struggle with every day. But we're going to fast forward even past all this and pretend that Revelation has played out. Now, we're in heaven, we're happy, we're glorifying God, everything is as it should be. Everything's wonderful. We're with God. True peace. However, there's one thing that hasn't changed. We still have free will. We aren't robotic. We still have a choice. What is to stop anybody from making the wrong choice again? Pause right here and think and concentrate, really, on every awful thing you've ever had to endure. Focus on it. Remember every hurt, every struggle, every pang of hunger, every evil thought, every lust, every abuse. Think about it. Now, we're in heaven, and we stumble upon Christ, and we see him, and we're like, hey, Christ. And we notice something, and it's his hands. John 20:20 says that Christ has kept the scars on his hands and a side from his crucifixion. Here's my idea, that even though God himself has cast our sins into the depths of the sea, that because Christ has kept his wounds, we're going to see them, and we're going to know that even though every tear has been wiped from our eyes, that Christ did something for us and took us out of something. And so we'll know that the idea of going against God or not following this perfect being or not being in total union with God is just plain silly. So think on that. Think about your reward, and think about the price of that reward. And I hope you'll be encouraged by it. This week's song that I would like you to meditate on, that really ties in with this message, is Times by 10th Avenue North. It's from their album Over and Underneath, and I think we'll put a link in somewhere around here. So if this talk has encouraged you, and you would like to continue with us, there's going to be a subscribe button somewhere around here too. So be encouraged and do good. We'll see you next time.